The Afghanistan and Central Asian Association have opened a new centre in Liverpool. The ACAA is an award-winning charity based in the UK and was founded by Dr. Nasimi MBE, who came to the UK in 1999 as a refugee and established a charity's main office in London. Since then, the charity has expanded its branches to Birmingham and Kent, and now another in Liverpool. Numerous people attended the opening event, like the local MP and a Cabinet Council member, and many, many more.
So my name's Lauren, I'm the new Liverpool project manager. I'd like to welcome you all today to ACAA. And yeah, just to talk a little bit about what we'll be doing from this base. There'll be lots of work in the local community with refugees, some people from Afghanistan and Central Asia. And also we have a lot of others, so there's a lot of people who attend our ESOL classes in London, a lot of from lots of different places. I think we have 27 different languages spoken or something in this centre, so yeah, we're here to support everyone in every way that we can. So from this centre will be, as I said, ESOL classes focused on integration, so things like housing, jobs, and also digital classes, women's empowerment. We want to run a football club, and lots of other activities. An orchestra is an idea that's been floating around at the minute. So yeah, this will be happening from here. And yeah, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you everyone for coming. So I'm going to hand over to Darius now to give us a little bit of give us a
Can everyone hear me? So yeah, we came all the way from London today. We left at like 8 AM in the morning. All of the staff and volunteers as well. We're from West London, which is where the charity's head office is. And I'm just going to give a brief introduction about the history of the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association, which is a charity organisation that was founded 25 years ago after my family came to the UK as refugees from Afghanistan. I was only 6 months old when we arrived. It was a very dangerous and difficult journey across Europe. It took us months to get to the UK, and eventually we arrived in Belgium, which is where they put us inside the lorry. So we literally came in the back of the lorry. So we were very lucky to survive. And then we started our life from the southeast of London, from a place called Lewisham, New Cross, because that's the first place where we were resettled by the Home Office. And then Dr. Nasimi founded the charity, and the main aim is to help refugees with integration. So we offer different services for the community, including English classes for adults, Saturday school for children to help them with their school subjects, free legal advice clinics on housing, immigration, and also family issues. Women's empowerment has become one of the biggest services of the charity, because there are thousands of women who are suffering because of domestic violence, because of exclusion, isolation, and also unemployment. So we run women's groups to make sure that they can be more active members of their societies. And then we have the employment support, because the majority of the people that we interact with are unemployed. Some of them were running successful businesses back home in Afghanistan, but they don't know how to start a business in the UK, how to apply for a small loan, how to write a business plan, how to deal with all the legal paperwork, because the legal system can be quite complicated, signing the lease or finding a solicitor. So we are offering one-to-one mentoring and advice sessions in partnership with the University of West London. And then you've got the mental health and counselling support, sports activities for young people. I mean, I was speaking with one of the people here about the football club that we started. So we started a girls' football club 3 years ago, funded by Comic Relief. That happens twice a week in Hounslow and Hayes. We've also recently started a girls' cricket club, and we've also expanded it to a boys' football club as well. So we offer sports activities for children as a way of improving their self-confidence, improving their self-esteem, and also improving their physical and mental well-being. And then events. So we organise conferences at the Houses of Parliament in London. We had a conference in Brussels about 7 months ago. So again, in the same minibus that we came to Liverpool, we went to Brussels as a team of staff and volunteers, and then also at different UK universities, at the London School of Economics, at SOAS, at King's College, at UCL, at Royal Holloway. We organise conferences to talk about Afghanistan, so we can influence government policy, to talk about the challenges faced by refugees in the UK, and to see what we can do as the diaspora to change the situation back home, especially after the return of the Taliban 2.5 years ago. So that's like policy and advocacy. And then you've got the cultural events. So we organise lots of cultural festivals and also music events, celebrations for the community. We recently had a really big event for Eid to celebrate that religious occasion, and then you've also got like the Nowruz, which is our new year in March, first day of spring, and then you've got the summer festival, so that's the biggest event of the year. This year it will be a 2-day event. Last year it was in Ealing, this year it will be in Hounslow. Last year the first day was Afghanistan, and the second day was for Ukrainian people, because there's a huge influx of Ukrainian refugees now across London after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And then this year it will be again Central Asian and also for the South Asian community as well. And hopefully this year we're going to expect around 5,000 people in an outdoor setting. And our top priority right now, I think one of the volunteers brought some leaflets as well from the London office, is promotion, because we've only got 5 weeks left, and bringing 5,000 people is not easy. So that's the events side of things, but back to the charity. We became very busy as an organisation after the fall of Kabul in 2021, because hundreds of people were contacting us every day to get some advice from our staff about how to bring their families to the UK, which is still a big problem faced by those who were evacuated, because unfortunately the Home Office have not been very successful in terms of bringing their family members to the UK. And then after that, we received lots of media coverage. So if you go on YouTube and search the name of the charity on YouTube, you will see hundreds of media reports and coverage across all UK news channels, because we became a focal point for the Afghan community. There were people queuing from 5 a.m. in the morning to get some advice about their relatives back home. And then we received lots of donations from the public. Things like toiletries and second-hand clothes and shampoos and stuff like that, which we redistributed to people living at the hotels, because most of the Afghan asylum seekers are still stuck in temporary accommodation across the UK. And then that's when we then expanded our work nationally. So we opened our second office in Birmingham, in the Jewellery Quarter, and now this is our third branch. The Birmingham office was opened 1.5 years ago. And we've got about three members of staff there and a team of volunteers. And we've also done work in Manchester as well, but we don't have a physical branch. So it's great that we've expanded our work into Liverpool, which is also a growing city full of people from a migrant or a refugee background. And as a charity, we, in terms of funding, we mainly rely on grants from grant-making trusts. You've got the National Lottery, BBC Children in Need, Henry Smith, the Greater London Authority. We also receive funding from some corporate donors like Heathrow Airport. And then you've got UK government contracts. So we've recently started a Ministry of Justice project to support ex-offenders from an ethnic minority background. You've got the Department for Work and Pensions, which is about improving people's employment skills and reducing unemployment. As a charity, we've received numerous awards, like the Queen's Award for Voluntary Services in 2018. Dr. Nasimi got the MBE last year in December. So he met King Charles at Windsor Castle. Actually, the whole family got the chance to meet the King, which was a great achievement, I think, for the charity, but also because he's the first person from Afghanistan in the UK to get the MBE. And yeah, we don't just help people from Afghanistan. We've got beneficiaries from all over the world, from South America, from Eastern Europe, from the Middle East, from South Asia. We have about 20 members of staff and 150 volunteers. And in terms of the work that we do in partnership with job centres, with GPs, you've got health clinics, you've got the local councils, and I hope that we can build on those achievements that we've had in London and slowly replicate it in Liverpool. Of course, limited resources is a huge challenge, because with limited resources there's only so much you can do. But if we start from zero slowly over time, we can support people who are the most vulnerable people in our society, the people who are not privileged like we are, the people who had to start from zero, who had to start from scratch. They didn't have anything to start with. And they're fleeing countries like Afghanistan, which are war zones, conflict zones. And in order to make sure that they can thrive, I think it's our duty as a new community to support others who are also new to the UK. So it's like a lived experience model, because we also came as refugees as well, and now we're helping other people. But then outside the UK, we also deliver humanitarian assistance to people in Afghanistan. So that started in 2012. We opened 2 citizens advice centres in Kabul and Pulakhumri in the north. And then we also delivered numerous projects around improving access to clean water. And also during COVID, there were hundreds of people who were supported by the charity. We distributed oxygen machines to people back home, and that was funded by Penny a Pill and also by Save the Children. And also the recent, I don't know if you saw the news, there was so much flooding in the north of the country. So we've been fundraising to help people with emergency supplies like food, water, shelter, because hundreds of people were killed. And also thousands have been displaced. So it's quite a small charity. We've only got 20 members of staff, but the impact in terms of changing people's lives and value for money is very high. And that, I think, makes us a very unique charity. And I mean, most of the people that came today from London are volunteers or interns. And that's another good thing about the organisation, is that volunteering has become a very popular thing for the charity. We receive hundreds of applications from students and graduates from different universities, different countries, different backgrounds, studying masters in human rights, in politics, in international relations, and they apply for internships, which is why if you go on LinkedIn and search the name of the charity, you will see hundreds of pages on LinkedIn with people who were volunteering here before. And now they're working in all sorts of institutions, like other charities, the United Nations, World Bank, even in the civil service. So the progression from after volunteering in this charity and then where they end up is quite remarkable. And what else is there to say? But I think the reason, this is probably an important question, which is probably going, which is what you're thinking about. The reason why we opened this office in Liverpool is because Liverpool is the 3rd or the 4th largest city in the UK, and there are huge numbers of people from Afghanistan, from Syria, from Ukraine, from Iraq, from Yemen, who need support, who need assistance. But there's a lack of grassroots charities to support them. You've got lots of other charities that have, like Age UK and Mind and Red Cross, but there's a lack of a charity led by the refugees themselves, who can provide culturally tailored support in a sensitive way, with a greater understanding of the challenges and the needs of the community than others. And that's why we opened this office. And I hope we can work together in partnership with local groups, with the local council. I know we've got people from local charities here as well. And I look forward to working in collaboration with all of you. And I hope that this launch ceremony, even though the office was opened 6 months ago by Nazanin, who's now in Dubai because she had to go there for university, this launch ceremony will enable the charity to run new programs. I know we've started with the ESOL classes, and we're going to probably expand to women's groups, to Saturday School for Children, because there are thousands of Afghan and other children who need to catch up, because they came to the UK when they were 10 or 11. They didn't start from the age of 3. They don't understand how the UK education system works. They need extra support, one-to-one assistance. So that's why I think that the need is really great. And I don't think I have anything else to say, but I should have mentioned at the beginning, my role in the charity is funding and partnerships. So I'm kind of responsible for the fundraising as well as building new partnerships for the charity. And also expanding the work in different parts of the UK. I'm 25 years old. I studied politics and philosophy at King's College 4 years ago, and then I also founded a society for Central Asia. I organised some events about the new Silk Road, and then also about the Afghan peace talks with the Taliban, and I had lots of people from embassies and think tanks and from the parliament as well. And then after that, I was the first British Afghan to stand in the election in 2022 in May in West London, in Hounslow. And then after that, I returned to the charity. I did some filming for a TV show as well. That's not relevant. But then I worked in public relations for a few months, and for the last 14 months I've been at the charity. Because I was the one working on fundraising before, but then I realised if I don't come back, who's going to work on fundraising? The income was going to go back down. And the reason the income went up was because of the emergency funding that was available for charities during the COVID crisis, during the Afghanistan crisis in 2021, during the Ukrainian crisis in 2022. So I felt a sense of duty, a sense of responsibility that no, this is my father's organisation, why should I work somewhere else? It was a good experience though, because it was the first time that I had worked outside a family environment, but then I was like, no, the charity is more important to me. So I returned back, and that's what I've been doing for the last 13, 14 months, but then at the same time I'm also helping out with events, and with other stuff as well. So I'm not going to take more information away from Dr. Nasimi's presentation, because I want him to have points as well. He's probably going to talk about what Shabnam has done, what Robbie has done, what Shakib has done. Robbie is not with us today, but Shabnam and Shakib are. And yeah, it's a great pleasure to see so many faces, so many new people here. And as I said, I have a great hope, and I'm very positive, and I'm optimistic that we will be able to improve the lives of the most vulnerable and the most disadvantaged people who live in Liverpool and the surrounding region, to promote British values, to promote shared values, but also to reduce their feelings of isolation, which I think mental health is a big issue facing the community. So hopefully through the work with people like the Canal and River Trust, and I'm speaking to Ace, where's Ace? Yeah, and then also from the council and the colleges, we can make a better future. So thank you very much, and if you have any questions, let me know. But also, yeah, if you'd like to come and stand and say a few words, you're more than welcome. It's not like a formal agenda which we're following. It's a community event, it's a launch ceremony. So I know we were waiting for the cabinet minister to come here, but we had to start before that. But yeah, thank you very much.
Hello everyone, and thank you for coming to the launch of the Afghanistan and Central Regional Association in Liverpool. Until maybe 3 years ago, it was me with a very poor accent telling the people about the services of the organization. And this is the difference between the third generation and the second generation. So now Darius grown up, and he grew up in the organization, in the charity. As I said, he was 6 months old when we came to the UK. So I'm not going to speak too much about the services because we give you a very broad and comprehensive information about the history and the background and the entire services. What I would like to say is to thank you, the British people. And this is from my heart. I'm not using diplomatic language. Some of the members of the staff and volunteers, they understand my feeling why I love this country so much. While I am not a millionaire, I am not someone who runs a business or a company. I am still running a very, very small charity, with a very small income. But for me, to say I love great income means a lot. And this is about integration. I found that integration is very complicated. And I was speaking sometimes with South Asian communities. And the reason we have the Prime Minister from South Asia, the Mayor of London from South Asia, because they've been part of British culture for 300 years. And this is the things that make me very loyal to the British interest and to the British society and to the British people. How the society allow refugees like myself to come here as a refugee, start the life from scratch, and then slowly grow and analyze about strategic things, what's happening locally, nationally, and globally. To be honest, my personal ambition after 25 years is to leave the organization as soon as possible and represent maybe the Afghanistan diaspora community. I found that the Afghanistan diaspora, they are the only diaspora in the world with no voice. We have millions in Iran, millions in Pakistan, millions in other parts of the world. They are very divided. We don't have any local or national representation in any politics. So we don't have any representation in politics in any countries in the world, including in the UK, like a councillor or an MP or a member of the House of Lords or someone sitting in the Foreign Affairs or the Home Office. So this is the big picture of my personal ambition. So about the organization, I don't want to repeat everything that he has mentioned. I think the organization has done a lot of good job or good things to the community. Yeah. I hope that the local people in Liverpool, with the support of the local manager, Lauren was employed by the organization through a very democratic process. She found the position online, she submitted her CV, she attended the interview, she came to the main office for 1 week just to see things firsthand, what's going on in the organization in London. And I'm very, very pleased, honestly, to have someone from local area like Lauren that will make us feel less, make us feel less stress.
More stress.
Yeah. Because as a small organization, when you're expanding too much with very small resources, sometimes, of course, you're worried about the sustainability, stability and sustainability. So the way that I see Lauren having a great expertise and experience working in a similar environment in the past. And that's why I'm very pleased to introduce Lauren as a project manager of the Afghanistan and Central Asian Association in Liverpool, and maybe also the people of Manchester. They are also will be able, because when we were traveling from London to Liverpool, I saw that between Manchester and Liverpool is only 10 miles. Yeah,
Not from here.
Liverpool and Manchester. Yeah, no.
Manchester.
How far?
35.
So close.
Still close. Not that close.
But finally, yes, this year in 2024, I set up the Afghanistan and Central Asian Associations program. A number of steps. Number one, we will continue with integration, employment, and language support. And then number two, we will continue with our campaigning, advocacy through conferences and other events. Number three, to set up a youth forum. So this is another gap between the Afghanistan diaspora. When you see the number of volunteers using the volunteering opportunities at this organization, we don't have any single volunteers from Afghanistan. Thousands of young people volunteering, applying for volunteering position, they are from the wider community. From US, EU, and of course from British society. So the number three, the youth forum, how we can do so many things without the support of people like you. I don't think that it will be possible for a small organization to have so much ambition plan. But the priority, integration, employment, language, number one, we should continue with this. The campaigning on advocacy, organizing events. Number three, as I said, to set up a youth forum, which will help Lauren with the football project, as well as the orchestra, and also introducing some of the young people to the local council, to the police, local police. And I wish you the success. Thank you very much for attending the event. And I hope to see you again. Thank you very much.